Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Some of us have been traveling all over the place, so we've had a couple episodes off, but yeah, we're back and kind of stuck in a little bit of rut here with the 2-game losing streak. We're gonna get into that a little bit, but how's everybody doing?
Doing good. Yourself?
I can't complain, Eric. Getting close to Thanksgiving, so some football, some food, the best time of the year, the upcoming holidays.
Yeah, I feel you. I understand.
And college basketball started as well. Yeah, so all sports are going on right now.
I mean, it's sports time. I think I read something like a few weeks ago. There was like 49 or some straight days of any some kind of football. So I always take that. You got basketball, college basketball, and NBA, and in-season tournament, and holiday, and you mentioned food. I need to stay away from that, but everything else sounds exciting.
I can't stay away from the food, so I'll be doing that while watching.
I didn't say I said I need to.
Okay.
I need to stay away from it. So.
Yeah, every year for Thanksgiving, my friend group's annual turkey bowl is Black Friday. So usually during Thanksgiving, I kind of I get one plate. I don't go too overboard with it, and then I have to remind my nephew who also plays in our turkey bowl. They're like, hey man, chill out with the food, man. We got a game tomorrow morning. So I'm very measured with my plates on Thanksgiving. Usually Friday nights when I go overboard with it.
Y'all play flag football or tackle?
Yeah. Flag. Yeah. We stopped doing tackle after high school. Getting too old.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
Tackle can be dangerous.
This guy tore his ACL in high school playing tackle football.
I dislocated my kneecap and tore my MCL playing tackle.
No pads or anything.
Yeah. We made our own league during the high school football season. So anyone who didn't play football played in that one. And then after that season, we did another one because all the football players wanted to play in that league. So we did a second season when it was a lot colder. It was like in the middle of winter, and a lot bigger dudes were in that one. And people were getting injured left and right in that one. I had to go to the hospital because my knee was in two places. While I was in there, they had to take me out of the room. We need this room for someone else that's coming in with a dislocated shoulder. It was a guy in my same game.
Oh my!
He comes in like that, just holding his arm like this. I'm like, oh man, what happened? He's like, someone landed on me in the game. I was like, oh dude. So that second season didn't last too long.
Yeah. If you guys ever played, did y'all play rough and tumble? Y'all know what that is? Or am I dating myself?
Is that when you get tackled, you have to give up the ball?
Yes.
Okay, we call it something else, but that name you can't really say anymore. It's not PC to say anymore. I don't know what the updated name for that is now.
Marcus, you might be too young.
Yeah.
And you're a little softer, so y'all couldn't play that game.
They did that with flags, though.
So you get the ball. So basically, say for instance, you playing with 8 people. You get the ball, and all 8 people are trying to tackle you. You get tackled, you got to throw the ball to somebody else. If you throw it up or throw it back, and then that person got to run until we get all the way down and still someone scores. Mm-hmm. That's a game where you'll see people, shy away from the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a never-ending
kick
return.
From tackling.
Yeah. You'll see who the dogs are real fast.
So it's that's a tough game right there. I've seen a lot of people get hurt in that game. But you and your turkey bowl don't have to worry about that.
Nah.
No. Just 505 flag football.
What y'all call it? Yeah.
Turkey bowl. Yeah.
Flag football can be rough though. It depends on who you're playing.
I've seen people tear their ACLs playing flag football.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we play in a league in DC, and so some of the teams that play in that league are pretty are the real deal. Yeah. But enough of the flag football talk. We're gonna get into our basketball talk here. So obviously it's been a while since we had our last show. But to quickly recap, we won 8 games in a row and then lost a back-to-back to Indiana and Boston. And there are kind of a lot of people overreacting on the hot take shows, First Take, Undisputed, all that stuff. But do these 2 losses in a row impact your overall outlook on the team so far this season?
Well, no. I mean, I think from the start that we had, I'm still excited about it. But it does kind of like it doesn't necessarily, get me like so discouraged. For me, it gets me like, oh, this is kind of where I expected, where we are. We win some games. Like I've said it before. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. And then all of a sudden you get into a situation where you're playing better teams that, sometimes you lose them, sometimes you win them. But going forward, it's going to tell you a lot, when you play in the bigger games or the in-season tournament games or the national televised games you play against better teams, how we respond in our record just in that little small bunch of games we'll tell a different story. The start has been great, but we still, like I've said before, we still got a lot of the better teams that we still have to play. So I think you have your overall record, then you have your record against the top teams in the league. And that's where it's interesting because right now we have we're 8-2 or whatever it's 8-3, whatever it is.
8-3, yeah.
But we are probably 1-2 against top teams, or is it 2-2? Like, what is it?
We'd be 1-1.
It's not 8-3. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that type of percentage.
2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a 500 record or so, and that's top teams as far as right now. But as far as top teams who we think gonna be there or who's been there historically over the last couple of years, the record could be a little different. So I think we still have a lot more to prove going forward, and you have to establish that level of consistency because I think we are the type of team that is like when we're winning, it's like we improve, but as soon as we hit a low like we did, it's like same old Sixers, and that's how I think people see us.
So I'm not overreacting. I get the pump in the brakes, but maybe we should have been driving too fast, if you know what I mean. I'm not overreacting to this at all.
Yeah, and I said that before. I was like, no way to just, it's okay, but I'm not.
It's a national media thing, right? Like national media, they love, and I think Marcus and I were talking about this recently. They love to just like open road, punch it, and they go like 120 on a team after they win like 4 or 5 straight. And then when they have a loss, it's like, whoa, hard break and like traffic after that. It's a classic cycle, but the pendulum just swings too hard. We're not in trouble and we weren't unbeatable. So like we're in the middle there. We are. I mean, we split against 2 really good teams. I think Indiana's a pretty good team this year. We can't look at them like
they beat us. It's hard to beat teams 2 times in a row like that. I think we're better than them.
I think we are.
If we don't play our best game, they can get us.
Yeah, they have that style that you need to be. You can't just like, not worry about it, be checked out. You need to be engaged. But I think they're a top 5 or 6 seed this year in the East. So no real slouch.
I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know.
No, okay.
Top 5 or 6. And like it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think from a team standpoint, I don't think they're on paper they're top 6. They could get there. I don't see it. I think there's like I like Atlanta better than Indiana. They may not.
I think there are, but I think there are better teams right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're 4th. They're tied for 4th right now with Milwaukee. So that they're playing well. So I don't think at this point in their season,
Indiana's one of those teams that like last 3 years. If you look at the first 10, 15 games of the season, they usually start off pretty hot, like it's like a top 4 team in the East, and then they trail off a little bit.
I believe they played us tough last year too.
Yeah, I believe they beat us in the one of the first 10 games.
They were high scoring games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boston, obviously, we split with Boston. That's that's an in-division rival, pretty much. You're expected to the NFL. You're expected to split. You should split. You shouldn't if you're on par with a division rival.
We say split, but we split with 2 home games though. You're supposed to win your home games.
Yeah.
That's where it's different because we still have to go. We still have to go there twice.
Yeah, they were missing guys. We run it back to back. It was a weird game, right?
Yeah, but we can't lose that game. They got 2 starters out. We can't lose that game.
Yeah. With everyone fully in the game, though, everyone healthy, we did win that game. That's going to look more like the postseason type roster, at least. Hauser's not going to be getting 40 minutes in a playoff game unless they have serious injuries. So I'm happy that when both teams were at full health, we did win that game. Like you said too, you when you play better teams, you win some, you lose some. Just kind of how it goes until you're one of the elite and you're beating most of the teams underneath you. And I think the best way to do it, you just take the positives from losses and you learn from the negatives. And to be quite honest, we knew this was a team in transition. This is a work in progress team, right? It's not a finished product. It's a work in progress. And works in progress don't win every game, especially against comparable talent, especially when you're playing them back to back. If we did, I don't think there'd be much of a reason to do major trade. We were just killing everyone and beating Boston twice on over. What I like the most, I think, is that even in those losses, all 3 of our losses, pretty tight. There hasn't been a game where we just haven't shown up for. Teams might have pulled away at some point in the game, but we fought and we fought and we fought. And we were in them. Milwaukee was a heartbreaker. Boston pulled away, and we kept trying to fight in Indiana, but they just kept hitting shots. So I do like that we're competitive no matter what in our losses. There hasn't been thanks for not showing up tonight, guys, type game.
Being without Oubre and Batum and having Roko's been great as far as filling in. But, does it kind of underscore how important Oubre has been to us so far? The fact that we've lost these last 2 games without Oubre, does it kind of underscore that, how big of a boost he was for this team in the first 10 games of the season?
Yeah, I think that did come into play. His versatility, his ability to score. You think about the Boston game where Joel and Maxey was playing back to back, and the scoring wasn't as we had seen this whole start of the season. So having an additional guy that can go get you 20 points would definitely help. So I do feel that it was missed with him not being there. But it happens. We have to adjust. It happens. He's not there now. So if we're saying that's where we're at, if we're saying we're so much better without James, then we can't be sitting up here talking about, we got to play with Kelly, got to be there for us to win.
Yeah.
Batum too. Batum's been really key for us. Makes the right plays, great on defense, hitting open shots. I think he was plus at one point. He was plus 50 for us. Like that, when you take a guy out of your lineup, even if he's not playing 40 minutes a game, you're gonna feel that. Especially against a team like Boston.
It messes up it messes up the rotations, the comfort level that a coach may have and trust that a coach may have within that rotation. So you get in certain situations, the way the game is going, that it can dictate huge portions of the game as far as when it's not things aren't going your way or you want to make a change. But it happens. That's what making adjustments is. That's what other guys having to step up. At the end of the day, the games are going to be played when they come, how they come, and you got to find a way to win them. Especially, like I said, these top games, because I think, and I don't know if people can tell now, but I was told a long time ago that by the end of December, beginning the middle of January, pretty much the teams that's going to make the playoffs are going to be set. And I firmly feel this year is going to be really, really tight. So playoff positioning, home court advantage, tiebreakers, all that stuff is going to matter. So these games early on, when you're playing at home and you don't win them, now all of a sudden, we've played Boston twice at home. Now, if we play them again, it's on the road. And what if we need one or two of those games? So winning those teams and taking care of home is I think is bigger than people were making it out to be.
Yeah. And one of those concerns on one of those hot take shows, Brian Windhorst, NBA insider, he was on First Take, and he brought up his biggest concern while watching the Sixers-Celtics game was that the Sixers were annihilated when Maxey came off the floor. He went on to say that the Sixers would look to rectify this via trade before the deadline. He and Stephen A. Smith also said that the lack of a backup big has hurt us so far this season. And yeah, we've obviously had a lot of trouble guarding Tatum, and that was without Brown in the lineup. So right now, what would you guys rank the kind of priorities the Sixers need to kind of get right now? So two-way wing, another ball handler, or another big. Where would you guys kind of prioritize those three?
Well, for me, it can't be a two-way big with the trade we just made and Kelly coming back. So, I mean, you don't make a trade for the guys that we have and then say we need a two-way big. Like, I don't understand why that's even spoken of. Unless you're moving some of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that should have been addressed in that move. I am interested to see what we're going to do. And we spoke about it. I know we did in the preseason about whatever decision we made with James, whether Maxey was going to be the primary ball handler or not, and then who was going to be either that starter and push Melton back to the third guard, or who was going to be that third guard. I don't think they've established that. As far as the backup big, I mean, that one's kind of hard. I mean, Reed I thought he's done well when he gets an opportunity. I think he does a solid job. He's not Joel, obviously, but he does a solid job when he's in there. But I think that the role that they have him in, I'm okay with the role that he is. That I would probably have that second. But yeah, I mean, like I've said it before, Melton goes down or Maxey, like they miss a few games, then what? So if they're gonna play the young fellow Stringer, if he's the guy, then whoever that guy is needs to be playing more consistently. And I don't know. Just watching, I don't know who that is or who it can be. So I would say that's number one for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tricky question because with the team currently constructed like today, and no major changes to it, then I would say another ball handler, and then a wing, then a big. First off, I still want Reed to prove like he can't handle that job, right? So I think it's premature. We just signed him to a deal. I think it's premature to try to like get another big in there, and then Reed can't even find playing time at that point. We have a lot of wings right now. We got, like you said, in that deal. So I don't see why we really need to prioritize that unless we consolidate, trade a bunch of guys out, and then have them come back in. But between just looking at Batum and Oubre, like I don't know if we have a big need at 3 right now. Now if I think we should go after a ball handler, obviously, but if you could find maybe like a tweener type who can handle the ball a little bit, someone who can also help and guard wings. There aren't those guys that grow on trees. It's not that easy to find that, but that would be my preferred kind of guy if you can find that, which is maybe why we're being so picky. But if I had to pick between those three, I would say ball handler first.
Yep. So that kind of goes with our next topic. So obviously we talked about it in one of our initial shows. The Bulls had their players only meeting after the first game of the season, and that's been a team that people have been kind of looking at anyway as far as getting players from that. DeRozan, LaVine, Caruso is also a name that's been brought up. So so Sixers have had rumor interest in players like Zach LaVine and now Alex Caruso. Sixers right now are currently the betting favorite to land Alex Caruso. So the question is, would you rather cash in most of our assets to get Zach LaVine or cash in on, say, one of those assets to get an Alex Caruso type of guy who's making about, I think he has 2 years left on his deal, worth like $9 million. So definitely right up Teja's alley as far as his contract, Eric.
Of course. If I'm making a decision, I'm going for Zach LaVine. I mean, because I have to maximize Joel's career and try to win a championship right now. That's how I see it. Caruso, he fits. He fits the mold of kind of what we just spoke about. As far as a third guard, is someone that can start, someone that can come off the bench, sort of like Melton in a sense. Very similar. But if I had my choice, I would say LaVine, because I think the way Maxi's playing and put him alongside, and in some ways, if you have Maxi or LaVine going from the second or the third, either one of those guys being your third best option, could help you be a really good team.
So we were talking about tweeners, and I saw that question on the docket for us, and I was like, look no further than Alex Caruso, baby. So there's a 3-minute highlight reel of him guarding Durant one-on-one with not much help, and he does a fantastic job. He's defended guys. They've put him on Siakam. They put him on Giannis. Not all game, but he can go out there and guard him. And then he defends guys like John Moran and SGA afterwards. So that's the kind of versatility we need, a guy who can do those, swing back and forth like that. He can hit an open jumper. He's 45% from three this year off 3 attempts a game. He can rebound. He's averaging 4 in 23 minutes. He can pass. He can ball handle. He's 6'5". I've seen people call him Walmart Drew, which I kind of like. I like that. Definitely Walmart prices compared to Drew's. Like, man, what would you say? Drew's like Pottery Barn? What would you say Drew's like? Like
He's not Pottery Barn.
No, he's like Drew's like man, what's the
Neiman Marcus?
Yeah, there you go. Or like what's the higher end IKEA, like the really high end. It's called oh man, I forgot. So that that's Drew. And then IKEA is the IKEA version is Caruso. $9 million this year and next. Huge fan of that, obviously. Don't have to go too far into that one. I'd say he's kind of like a Pat Bev Drew kind of mix. So you throw Pat Bev in there, you get the IKEA, Drew version. And we can get him for, let's say, salary matching will be easy. Let's say House and Furk, which I think matches salary. Maybe either a few seconds or like one of the weaker of all those firsts. I'm totally in on that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I like about Alex is I think whoever we get needs to be more of a guy that can bring the ball up the court, but more of a 2-3 defender that can defend ones, but not strictly a 1-2 that can't really defend threes, because we do have Bev. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're kind of stacking guys if you do it that way. So it needs to be he needs to be bigger than those guys. Or bigger presence is what I'm saying. But able to, able to handle the ball a little bit. Say, for instance, if they don't want to go with Bev for whatever reason, and you go a different route, that person can handle the basketball, but that person can defend Tatum, or what I'm saying, like can defend a bigger guy, can defend maybe Jimmy for a second. Just kind of need another guy like that, and I think in a way you can almost get the wing defender and the primary ball handler in one guy. And that's what kind of it may excite people about a guy like Alex Caruso.
And there are many guys like that are at least available for a decent price, right? I mean, so I heard the market is like robust for him. So there's gonna be a lot of someone whoever gets him might have to overpay to get him. So
well, I mean, I think the market is because of one, it's like up your alley. He has a contract that people can take in. Two, he's performing, he has a versatility. And then three, teams seem to know that Chicago is going to make a move eventually.
Yep.
So
yep. Everyone's circling around the dying carcass.
Yeah, kind of make a move.
Yep. And heck, I mean, they're on the same team. So if we're doing a deal like that, you could try to get both. So that's not crazy. Like Caruso's salary is not so out there that, you know, and if they keep getting worse and if LaVine struggles at all, like his worth just goes down to the point where they can't be demanding all these first round picks from us anymore. So, you know, who knows? But back to your point, but the size, because you have Pat Bev and Melton are both like 6'1" and 6'2". Caruso, you get kind of like a tweener there at 6'5".
Yeah.
Who can guard some of those bigger guys.
So, hypothetically, if we were to get an Alex Caruso, would he'd be a starter for us? He'd be starting two. Melton would go back to the bench, and he'd be our starting two, and then we kind of leave the Oubre.
I can see it either way.
Okay.
I mean, I think that would be a coach's decision, but I could see it going either way.
Yeah. By matchup.
Yeah. Gosh. It'd be so deep. Because, I mean, the fact that Furkan and House, I mean, they're still getting minutes in right now. I mean, I've seen some people saying it's too many guys getting minutes right now, which is funny because I'm starting to see that, like, oh, too many guys are getting minutes, whereas last year, you know, people were saying not enough guys were getting minutes. So, like, people are just never happy with the.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, you know, if it was Doc making that decision, that it would be an issue.
Yeah.
First off.
Yeah.
But we talked about it before. Yeah, I'm just saying if it was Doc doing it, it would be the worst decision ever to play so many guys. That's just a real statement. And Nurse isn't there yet.
No, yeah. People still trust.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, I've said it before. They got to make a decision on who does. And it got some time because you got all these new players and everybody hasn't been there, and now you have a guy that was playing a lot out, so it may be a little longer before they get settled on who is going to be.
And then I see, like you said, Marcus, people are saying too many guys, but then you also have there's a group yelling to have Springer get more minutes, see what we got in him too. So it's like it's just you can't play all these guys. You can't.
Which I do see that one.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it, though. We're saying we need another ball handler in the guard, and some people are like, "We'll play him."
Yeah,
he played well the last game when he got a chance. So, sometimes what you're looking for may be sitting on the end of the bench.
Yeah, he did provide some juice in that last game. But that's the thing, though. Because I don't know, some people are kind of speculating as to why. I mean, fans and different bloggers, but they're speculating as to why Furkan's getting so many minutes right now. Yes, we're down Oubre and Batum, but some are saying that some of the minutes that Furkan's getting, should be going to Springer or other guys on the bench. But is this, you see this more as we're trying to bolster his trade value, Eric? I mean, is that why sometimes if a guy has asked out 3 times, requested a trade, we haven't done it, but maybe now we're throwing him into other kind of offers and we're trying to get him more exposure? Is that what it is, or what do you think?
It could be you're trying to move him. It could be, you know, you're speaking to someone that they want to see him play a little bit, to try to see what they're trading for. That's very possible. And I would probably lean towards that as far as the reason he's playing more so than they're trying to fit him into the rotation. I just don't see how they're going to put him in the rotation with the moves that they made and all the talk that we still hear about the team. I just don't see them being for a long haul having him in the rotation. So I would probably lean towards giving him some action to kind of be seen by someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you surprised that Marcus Morris's minutes haven't been that high? I mean, he barely gets any burn during these games, which has been kind of surprising so far.
How though? How?
Yeah. I guess I'm more blown away at the fact that Furkan's getting so many minutes. And I'm like, wait, but a guy like Marcus Morris isn't getting like that much playing time. I mean, obviously different positions, but
yeah, I mean, you get into them games, and I think, especially the last couple, that it's pretty much a close game or down or slightly up, and those minutes, you may have projections on your minutes how you want to do it. Then all of a sudden that changes in the flow of the game, and if they're playing Paul, and then Joel's minutes go up, now Paul's minutes go down, and now you want to kind of balance that out. And I don't know. I mean, Bamba was playing early in the year, right? And then he hasn't played. Is he injured?
I don't think so. I don't think he's on the injury report, unless they're doing the pull in the Bengals and not putting his name on there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So he's a big, and we don't play him. So I mean, we do have a guy on the other side that they don't play.
Yeah. I know Nurse said a few games ago he wanted to try to get Morris more minutes. He feels like he needs to play more. And he has. He's played 17 against Indianapolis or in Indiana, and then 8 minutes against Boston. So he's minus 16 in those minutes, but whatever.
Yeah, and I love the whole Bamba aspect because the whole offseason. Yeah,
Morris is okay. Not for minus 16.
I'm just asking. Man.
I think his salary is like 17 mil. For minus 16? Shit.
Yeah, I know you would know.
He's all over it.
Hey, man, Morris is going to be a very, very key salary matching guy. He's going to he makes what Anunoby makes.
It's unfortunate, too, because he wants to be there more than any of those other guys.
I know he does. He really – he's a really – I mean, it's his hometown.
Yeah, I mean, you had to make the trade work,
Yeah.
It's a business, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go to our final topic here. We got game predictions. So our next two games. So tonight we have our game against the Atlanta Hawks, who are 6-5 right now. It's at Atlanta, and the spread right now is kind of fluctuated a little bit. It was 1.5 last night. Now it's 1 point. Now the Sixers are a 1 point favorite on the road in Atlanta. Embiid's questionable to play. Batum's out for personal reasons, and Obre's out with a rib injury. And then some whatever that bike accident that he had, or allegedly. But who do you guys have in that one?
You said allegedly.
Well, yeah, with the.
Oh man. Yeah, I know allegedly. But anyway, okay, I won't touch it. I'm gonna say what I don't usually say.
Hold on, Eric. Actually,
let
me say this before you get started because, well, you kind of did. I read that if we lose this game, we essentially get eliminated from our group. By the way, in the tournament.
Oh, that's a tournament game. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So, will that impact your decision at all?
Will that impact my decision? Will Atlanta be eliminated if they lose?
I don't know.
I just think a Friday night in Atlanta, I'm going to have to go with my first gut feeling. We won't win, and we won't cover.
Wow.
And, I kind of, I got to be realistic because I almost pick us to win every game, which we all know that's not going to happen. I just don't – hopefully we do win it, but I don't feel it. I don't feel we're going to go there and win. I think Atlanta's better than they've played. And I just, especially if Joel was questionable, I mean, I think that they have some guys that can play. And I think Trae Young in this, think he's going to be a gamer in this type of environment, in season tournament, Philly in town Friday night. I see it differently.
So I'll be looking to see how we defend Trey and how Embiid bounces back off the 2 back-to-back self-admitted rough games from him. It was really a tough decision before I knew that we would possibly get eliminated if we lose. I think if Embiid plays knowing that, I think we win. But I'm very curious to see how we, Atlanta's, I think, a middle of the road Eastern Conference team. So I want to see how we play against that kind of team too. I think if we want to separate ourselves from the middle of the pack, you have to take care of the middle of the pack and beat them. So it's a good gauge for us to see where we are, because we played arguably the best team in the East, Boston, and we played another middle of the road team in Indiana. So I want to see how we face against another one. And like you said earlier, Atlanta and Indiana are comparable, but Atlanta's probably a little higher in my list too. So I want to see how we fare against them. I for all the bettors out there, Capella points and rebounds. That's a good one, because he's done that very well against us in the past.
Yeah. Then our next game on the road is against the Brooklyn Nets, who by that point will either be 7-5 or 6-6. Obviously, so we've had some spirited matchups with the Nets going back to, I guess during the KD Kyrie days, and then going on to the Simmons and Dinwiddie team, and then obviously the team we played in the playoffs last year. But who do you guys have in the game against the Nets?
I have us winning that game. Philly have a nice crowd there. We'll do well, bounce back from the Atlanta game, and get another division win.
So I'll be looking for 2 main things. If Ben Simmons shows up, what color shirt he'll be wearing, and I'll be looking for maybe a little fight in this one, because every time we face them, it gets a little chippy. They have a lot of long defenders who can make some trouble for our guys. The intensity always raises. I'll be looking to see if we can raise our intensity without while keeping a cool head. I want to see how with Nurse's influence and coaching style, if they can raise it while not getting too Draymond-y. I guess let's put it that way. No headlocks, no fights, but raise your game up. And I know Pat Bev will be very involved in that aspect of it. That'll be nice to see that too. Similar to the Hawks, right? Nets are a average middle of the road type Eastern Conference team. We need to beat teams like that. So I think we win that one.
Yeah. And I would say next week we have a lot of tests next week. Looking forward, we got Cleveland on Tuesday. We have Timberwolves on Wednesday, so back to back. Thunder Saturday, and then next Monday we have Lakers. So we have some good tests coming up here. So yeah, these are the games to win. The Atlantas, the Nets of the world. These are the games we should be winning.
Yeah. Like I said, the schedule's coming, so you got to perform.
Yeah, that's a whole tough little stretch there.
Yeah, that Tuesday, Wednesday, back to back, 2 weeks in a row,
and even LA is followed by New Orleans and Boston. So,
what is the home away? Was on these next 4 or those 4 games after these next 2?
So we have at Atlanta, at Brooklyn, then at home for Cleveland. Then we're on the road the following night against Minnesota, at OKC, then back to Philly against Lakers, and then on the road against the Pelicans.
And Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough stretch.
Yeah, it's back and forth, man.
I can see Joel sitting out that Minnesota game.
Hiding out from Rudy?
Maybe not Rudy. Yeah, maybe that's maybe too personal. Maybe he plays that game.
Yeah.
It's a good stretch.
Yeah. Tuesday's TNT game.
Was there some beef with them about Joel saying he was going to play with France and then saying he's going to play for USA? Did Rudy say something?
Did Rudy say anything?
Not hear that wrong?
I thought Rudy did mention something. I don't know if he was butthurt about it, but he did mention something about him coming to play there.
I don't remember.
Maybe I read it something different. Or maybe it was somebody else's quote.
We could definitely make something out of it, though. No. I just did a quick search. Not that I can see so far, but
yeah. No, he said because there's a thing last year saying that he should only join France if his heart is in it. And then when they asked him about Embiid joining USA, he said, "quote I'm happy for him. I guess we'll see him in Paris. I am happy for him as long as he does what makes him happy and follows his heart. That's what matters. I think it's definitely something that they needed. They needed a dominant big man, so they're definitely going to have a good roster next summer. So pretty nice words. Everybody wants to everyone wants to hate on Rudy and try to make something of Rudy and everything. So that's nice words there. And Rudy's also probably happy that Embiid's not going to Team France and having Rudy come off the bench, unless they would go two bigs. I don't know how they would have worked. Kind of like a Minnesota offense, actually.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys. Well, hopefully we snap this losing streak and beat Atlanta and beat Brooklyn on our as we have our next episode on Tuesday, where we'll be previewing that Cleveland game on TNT that night. So our second TNT game of the year. So, hope you guys enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, fellas.
All right, take it easy.
Later on. Bye.